Voila! Welcome to Holland. It's quite a beautiful sight, isn't it? Now, this is what Holland looks like today. Did you know that more than 17 million people live in Holland? They are spread over 12 provinces. Now, the capital of Holland is Amsterdam. Nearly 1 million people live here. And with 175 different nationalities, Amsterdam is #1 in the world when it comes to multicultural living. But what did Holland look like in the past? As you can see, Holland looked quite different 2000 years ago. Oh, just a moment. The Romans called Holland the worst place on earth to live. And therefore they drew the northern border of their empire across Holland. But on the contrary, the Dutch were a very innovative people. Water is Holland's natural protector and a good source of food. A well-known snack in Holland is raw herring. It's very tasty and I recommend trying it.
No.
As a result, the Dutch could head farther out to sea. And soon it was necessary to build bigger and stronger boats. And this created more jobs and more prosperity. And Holland rapidly became the trading center of Europe. Water naturally protected Holland from countries wishing to invade it. And to this day, the Dutch are a free people. Countries that wanted to invade Holland had to cross rivers or even seas. Yeah, we Dutch made good use of the water to keep the enemy out. Even before the enemies reached Holland, the Dutch flooded their polders to knee height. This was too deep for enemies with horse and carriage, and also just too shallow for boats. Altogether, 85 kilometers of infrastructure protected the land against water and the enemy. Structures which the Dutch maintained until after the Second World War. They called these water-based defenses the water lines. Sometimes the water turned against the Dutch. Floods have taken throughout the years tens of thousands of lives. They had to protect themselves from the water. But that only works if you can work together. Imagine you're a farmer and you want to keep your land safe. So you build a dike and you pump the water out. Simple. Or not. If you had a lax neighbor, then you really had a big problem. But if everyone participated, then together they were responsible for the drainage and the protection of the land. They dug a canal and built a dike around the lake. After that, windmills were built on the dike, and these were used to pump the water out of the lake, turning it into a fertile polder. This mentality made it possible for Dutch citizens, from housekeepers to high officials, to invest together in the ambitious plan of draining areas below sea level. The technology gradually moved forward, and the windmills were slowly but surely exchanged for these steam pumping stations. This eventually led to a man-made inland sea, closed off with a dike of 32.5 kilometers. The Dutch thought they now had the water well under control.
In a few minutes, you are going to experience the ultimate flight over our beautiful country. And if I look at our flight plan, we are going to visit some very exciting locations. Let me highlight some of the places you will go to today. We are now in Amsterdam. You can find this building at the blue spot over there. Amsterdam is famous for its canals, which are part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. We have 9 UNESCO sites in Holland and 1 in Curaçao. One of the first places we will visit is the Zaanse Schans, where we will encounter our famous windmills. There are over 1,200 windmills in Holland. We use them to pump water, to saw wood, or to grind flour. Some of these windmills are still active today and can be visited by you. The Netherlands is a kingdom. We call our royal house the family of Oranje-Nassau. That's why our national soccer team always plays in orange jerseys. Yes. Every year we celebrate our king's birthday. On the 27th of April, the entire country turns orange, and there are several activities throughout the whole land. I think it may be a good idea to fly over a former castle of the royal family based in Apeldoorn. There are 4 different seasons in Holland. Tulips are blooming in the spring from the first half of March until the first half of May. Our tulips are world famous, and I will make sure that we fly over one of the largest tulip fields in Holland. Did you know that Holland exports over 2 billion bulbs every year? The Netherlands mostly exports by sea and air. Maybe it will be interesting if we also take a look at our harbors today. I hope Schiphol will allow us to fly over their airport. Anyway, other activities. In the autumn, Holland looks very different, especially when you enjoy the view from the Doornse Kaap Tower. Standing on the top, you can see one of the largest forests we have. And in the fall, it looks pretty amazing too. In the winter, the Dutch long for the temperatures to drop below 0. I mean, we love to skate, especially on natural ice. Today, we will fly over a natural ice landscape in the province of Friesland. Friesland is famous for its Elfstedentocht, a 200-kilometer natural ice skating tour that is world renowned. Of course, that only can take place when there's enough ice, I mean, you know. Speaking of the weather, we could face some rough conditions during our flight. Of course, we try to avoid it, but if we do get hit, please hold on to something. It can be a bit bumpy out there. But
tegen het water te beschermen. Binnen de stormvloedkeringen worden gesloten bij veel regen, storm of sneeuwtijden. Sinds de voltooiing van de bibliotheek in 1986 wordt deze gemeente 1 keer per jaar gesloten.
ஃபைவ் செகண்ட்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறம் வரும். இங்கே பாரு, இங்கே பாரு, நான் கம்ப்யூட்டர் அடிக்கிற மாதிரி பண்ணம்மா. இப்போ அங்கேருந்து மறைஞ்சி இப்போ ரோட்டுக்கு வந்துடுவேன்.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo DiCaprio.
இதுலேருந்து எந்திரிப்பேன் பாரு இப்போ அப்பா. புரிஞ்சுதா? இந்த பார், அவ்வளோதான்.